I recently organized a baby shower for my sister-in-law at my home, only to be stunned when she requested I leave just 15 minutes before the guests arrived. I'm 28, married for 3 years, and my husband, who's 32, and I have been together for 5 years. He's currently working out of town, so we maintain a long-distance relationship, with him returning home every other weekend. We bought our house a few months ago just before he left for his job. It's a stunning property, conveniently located near my parents' place, making visits easy. The house boasts beautiful architecture and ample space, which I love, even though I live there alone most of the time. It's a charming home in a delightful neighborhood, and I truly cherish it. When I held my housewarming party, guests showered the place with compliments. My sister-in-law, Jolie, 30, seemed particularly enamored, constantly praising the house. While we aren't especially close, we've always had a cordial relationship. So when she asked a few weeks ago if she could host her baby shower at my place, I agreed without a second thought. Her pregnancy made it hard to say no, and since I spend so much time alone, I welcomed the chance to meet new people and shake things up. I even took a day off work to assist with preparations. Jolie wanted to use my house to avoid the expense of renting a venue, especially since she admired its beauty. Her own home is nice, but not as grand or spacious as mine. Her flattery likely swayed me, and honestly, I had no reason to refuse since she'd always been kind to me. So, I said yes. I had no clue what was coming. Even during the planning, she gave no hint that I wouldn't be welcome at the event. I was deeply involved in every detail, from the menu to the decorations. Jolie visited almost daily for 2 weeks to plan everything together. I was excited about the event and thought it might bring us closer. But just before the shower, I was blindsided. On the day of the event, I helped the decorator set up an hour before guests were due. Jolie arrived 45 minutes early, thanked me warmly, and acted as if everything was fine. But 15 minutes before the guests were set to arrive, she casually asked where I planned to go for the next few hours. Confused, I thought she was joking. After all, the baby shower was at my house. I'd dressed up and even bought her a gift, assuming I'd be part of the celebration. When I asked if she was serious, she calmly explained that I wasn't invited or on the guest list. I'd noticed this, but didn't think much of it, assuming my involvement in hosting meant I was included. Anyone in my shoes would have thought the same, especially since we had no bad blood. I pointed this out, but she apologized, saying she thought I was helping as a professional favor. This made no sense. I'm a banker, not an event planner. Her reasoning felt flimsy. Visibly upset, I argued, but she dismissed it, saying she didn't want to fight, especially while pregnant, and that the event was for close family and friends only. She insisted I leave before guests arrived to avoid a scene, claiming the conversation was stressing her out. Furious, I stepped into the backyard and tried calling my husband, but he was in a meeting and couldn't answer. In my anger, I did something impulsive. I called Jolie's husband, Hubert, 33. They've been married for 2 years, together for 4. I don't know him well, but he's quiet and reserved. I vented about Jolie's behavior, explaining how humiliated I felt. I apologized for dragging him into it, but felt I couldn't confront her directly without upsetting her. Hubert listened quietly, then apologized on her behalf, which calmed me slightly. He told me I didn't need to leave my own house and said he'd be there soon to sort things out. 15 minutes later, Hubert arrived just before the first guests. When I heard the doorbell, I re-entered the house. In the living room, Hubert told me I could stay for the shower. Jolie tried to protest, but he silenced her with a stern look. Throughout the event, she shot me angry glares, and I decided I was done with her. I considered canceling the shower, but didn't want my efforts to go to waste, and Hubert's support made it feel unnecessary. So I let the event proceed, maintaining my composure despite her attitude. Afterward, Hubert apologized again, but Jolie ignored me. She later told me she felt I didn't belong at the shower and had projected her negativity onto me. It was infuriating, but the ordeal was over. That night, I called my husband and explained everything. He was livid and wanted to confront Jolie, but I urged him to let it go to avoid more drama. I just wanted peace. The next morning, my in-laws called, furious. They said that after the shower, Jolie and Hubert had a massive fight over what I'd told him. Hubert had left, refusing to speak to Jolie or her family, including my in-laws. Apparently, he'd even blocked them on social media, as had his family, severing ties completely. This shocked me, as Hubert had always been close to his in-laws, who were longtime friends with his parents. My in-laws and Jolie blamed me, saying if I'd stayed quiet and left as requested, none of this would have happened. I found this unfair. Jolie had disrespected me by trying to exclude me from an event in my own home, which I generously offered for free. I told them she'd humiliated me, and if my husband had been there, she wouldn't have dared. I defended calling Hubert, saying he was the only rational person in the situation and deserved to know how she'd treated me. I also said that if Hubert wanted to leave, I supported him and wouldn't retract anything. If my in-laws expected me to fix it, they'd be disappointed. I hung up. They've since tried to contact me repeatedly, but I'm considering blocking them. They insist the issue was between me and Jolie, and I shouldn't have involved Hubert. I disagree. He's family, and I felt he needed to know. I don't regret exposing her ungrateful behavior. They're trying to guilt me, claiming Hubert's departure means their child might grow up without a father. I think that's an overreaction, but their phrasing makes me second-guess myself. My husband supports me, saying it's Jolie's fault, not mine, and plans to tell his parents to address her behavior instead of attacking me. I'm unsure how to handle this ongoing drama or why Jolie acted this way. Was I wrong to involve Hubert? Update 1. It's been nearly a week since the baby shower. Hubert and Jolie are officially divorcing. Hubert announced it on social media, and he's already filed the papers. He's moved in with his parents, and they're living apart. I spoke with him, though I felt uneasy given the circumstances. My husband encouraged me to reach out since Hubert hadn't blocked us, unlike the rest of Jolie's family. I texted Hubert, apologizing for my role, but also seeking answers about why Jolie excluded me. He was kind, saying I shouldn't blame myself. He revealed that Jolie wanted me gone because she was trying to impress a friend who'd married into wealth. Jolie planned to start a business after the baby's birth and hoped this friend's husband would invest. To do so, she pretended my house was hers, which she couldn't do with me present. Her friend didn't attend due to illness, but Jolie's deception stood. Hubert confronted her, and she admitted her plan but refused to apologize, insisting she'd done nothing wrong. This wasn't the first time she'd pretended to live a wealthier life to impress others, a pattern that had strained their marriage for years. Hubert said her obsession with appearances, especially after friends mocked their wedding, had caused ongoing issues. Despite their comfortable life, Hubert's a real estate agent and Jolie works in marketing, she overspent to project wealth, frustrating him. The baby shower incident was the final straw. He assured me that even without my call, their marriage was on the brink. My husband agrees Jolie brought this on herself, and while we feel for her, her actions were unjustifiable. I'm stepping back and may block Jolie and my in-laws to avoid further drama. I hope they resolve things for their child's sake. Update 2. My husband returned today, and we discussed the situation. He's been in touch with Hubert, who said he'd consider reconciling if Jolie apologizes and seeks therapy. My husband tried contacting Jolie, but she's isolating herself, and her parents say she needs space. Some online comments called me selfish, assuming my husband and I are greedy or that Hubert and Jolie needed our help. To clarify, we bought our house affordably, and Hubert and Jolie are financially stable. We're on similar footing, so no one needs anyone's charity. I hope they work things out, but it's their choice. I stand by, hoping they reconcile for their child's sake, despite what some think. Update 3. 3 weeks later, Hubert and Jolie are giving their marriage another try. They're attending couples therapy and living separately for now. After the baby's born, they'll reassess. I'm happy for them, though I'm still not speaking to Jolie. I know some wanted Hubert to leave her, but it's his decision, and I support it. Update 4 months later, Hubert and Jolie are divorcing. Despite therapy, they couldn't make it work. They're parting amicably, especially for their newborn, and plan to co-parent. I'm glad they tried, but if this is best, so be it. I'll stay out of it and wish them well. Update 5. It's been a couple of months since Hubert and Jolie finalized their divorce, and I thought I'd share how things have unfolded. Their newborn, a beautiful baby girl named Lily, is now 3 months old, and both parents are trying their best to co-parent peacefully. I've kept my distance from Jolie, as our relationship remains strained, but my husband has been in touch with her to check on Lily and offer support. Hubert, who's still living with his parents, seems to be adjusting to his new life, though he's quieter than usual when we talk. I've seen Lily a few times when my husband brought her over during his visits to Jolie's place. She's adorable, and it's hard not to feel a pang of sadness knowing she's growing up with her parents apart. Still, Hubert and Jolie are making an effort to keep things civil. They've set up a schedule where Hubert takes Lily on weekends, and Jolie has her during the week. My husband says they're communicating better now that the divorce is behind them, but there's still tension, especially when it comes to Jolie's behavior. From what Hubert shared with my husband, Jolie hasn't entirely let go of her need to impress others. She's been posting glamorous photos of herself and Lily on social media, giving the impression that everything's perfect. Hubert finds it frustrating because she's still spending beyond her means, buying expensive baby gear to maintain an image. He's worried about how this might affect Lily in the long run, but he's trying to focus on being a stable presence for his daughter. My husband and I agree that it's not our place to interfere, but we hope Jolie will eventually prioritize Lily over appearances. Meanwhile, my in-laws are still upset with me. They haven't reached out directly since I stopped responding to their calls, but they've been venting to my husband. They seem to think I'm partly responsible for Hubert and Jolie's split because I called Hubert during the baby shower incident. It's frustrating, but I'm standing firm. I didn't cause their marriage to crumble. Jolie's actions and their ongoing issues did. My husband has tried explaining this to them, but they're too focused on defending Jolie. He's decided to limit contact with them for now, especially since they keep bringing up the drama whenever he visits. I've been reflecting on everything, and while I don't regret standing up for myself, I sometimes wonder if I could have handled things differently. Maybe if I'd confronted Jolie privately instead of calling Hubert, the fallout wouldn't have been so intense. But then I remember how she tried to push me out of my own home and lie about owning it to impress her friend. That betrayal still stings, and I don't think I'll ever fully trust her again. My husband supports me completely, which helps, but the family tension is exhausting. We're planning a quiet weekend together since he's coming home tomorrow. I'm looking forward to some peace and just focusing on us. I've decided to block my in-laws for now to avoid more stress. As for Jolie, I'll be civil for Lily's sake, but I'm keeping her at arm's length. I hope she and Hubert can keep their co-parenting on track, and I wish the best for Lily. That's all I can do for now. Update 6. Another month has passed, and things have taken an unexpected turn. Hubert reached out to me directly for the first time since the divorce, asking if we could meet for coffee to talk about Lily. I was hesitant, given how awkward things have been, but my husband encouraged me to hear him out. We met at a local cafe, and he opened up about how challenging co-parenting with Jolie has been. Apparently, she's been inconsistent with their schedule, sometimes canceling Hubert's time with Lily at the last minute, claiming she's too busy. Hubert suspects she's using these cancellations to control the situation, and it's starting to wear him down. He also shared that Jolie's business plans are moving forward, but she's been asking him for financial help, despite their divorce agreement. Hubert's frustrated because he's already paying child support and wants to focus on saving for Lily's future. He asked for my advice on how to handle Jolie without escalating things, and I was honest. I told him I'm not the best person to ask, given our history. Still, I suggested he set clear boundaries and document their agreements to avoid misunderstandings. He appreciated the input and said he values my perspective because I saw through Jolie's behavior early on. This conversation made me realize Hubert's trying to do right by Lily, and I respect that. I also feel a bit guilty for dragging him into the baby shower mess, even though he's assured me it wasn't the root of their problems. I apologized again, but he waved it off, saying he's glad things came to light when they did. He's considering therapy for himself to cope with the stress, which I think is a great idea. Back home, my husband and I discussed the situation, and he's worried about how Jolie's behavior might affect Lily as she grows up. He's thinking about reaching out to her again to encourage her to stick to the co-parenting plan, but he's not hopeful she'll listen. My in-laws, meanwhile, have started leaving voicemails, asking me to fix things with Jolie, which is absurd. I haven't responded and officially blocked them yesterday. I don't need their guilt trips. Lily's first birthday is coming up in a few months, and Hubert mentioned he wants to plan something small with both families. I'm not sure how that'll work with all the tension, but I'll attend for Lily's sake. My husband and I are trying to stay neutral, but it's hard when Jolie keeps stirring drama. I'm just hoping everyone can focus on what's best for Lily moving forward. Update 7. It's been a few weeks since my last update, and Lily's first birthday is approaching. Hubert and Jolie are planning a joint celebration, and my husband and I have been invited. I'm dreading it, honestly, because I haven't seen Jolie face-to-face since the baby shower. Hubert called to assure me they've agreed to keep things peaceful for Lily's sake, but I'm skeptical. Jolie's been posting cryptic messages on social media about toxic family, which I suspect are aimed at me or Hubert. It's childish, and I'm tempted to skip the party, but my husband thinks we should go to support Hubert and show Lily we care. On a positive note, Hubert seems to be in a better place. He started therapy and says it's helping him set boundaries with Jolie. He's also found a new apartment, so he's no longer living with his parents. He's excited about having a space for Lily during his time with her. Jolie, however, is still struggling. My husband heard from a mutual friend that her business isn't doing as well as she'd hoped, and she's been leaning on her parents for support. I feel a bit sorry for her, but I can't bring myself to reach out after everything. My husband and I are focusing on our own life now. We're planning a small getaway next month to recharge and get away from the family drama. I'm still not speaking to my in-laws, and I don't plan to unblock them anytime soon. They've made it clear they'll always side with Jolie, and I'm done trying to explain myself. As for Jolie, I'll be polite at the birthday party, but I'm keeping my distance. My priority is supporting my husband and staying out of the mess. I'll update again after the birthday party to share how it goes. Update 8. Lily's first birthday party happened yesterday, and it was a mix of emotions. The event was at a local park with both Hubert and Jolie's families present. I was nervous going in, but Hubert greeted us warmly, and Lily was the star of the show, giggling and stealing everyone's hearts. Jolie was civil but distant, avoiding eye contact with me. I didn't push for conversation and focused on playing with Lily instead. There was one tense moment when my in-laws tried to pull me aside to talk about the past. I politely shut it down, saying it wasn't the time or place. Hubert backed me up, redirecting the conversation to Lily's gifts. I appreciated his support. Jolie, meanwhile, seemed preoccupied with taking photos for social media, which Hubert later told me annoyed him. He's worried she's more focused on appearances than enjoying Lily's milestones. After the party, my husband and I talked about how we want to stay involved in Lily's life without getting sucked into the drama. We've decided to invite Hubert and Lily over for dinner soon, just the four of us, to build a relationship with her away from Jolie's influence. Hubert's open to it, and I'm hopeful it'll be a step toward normalcy. As for Jolie, I've accepted that we'll never be close. I don't hold a grudge, but I can't forget how she treated me. My husband's also keeping his distance from his parents to avoid more conflict. We're focusing on our own happiness and supporting Hubert where we can. Lily's the priority now, and I hope we can all find a way to put her first. I'll keep you posted if anything else develops. Update 9. It's been about a month since Lily's first birthday party, and things have settled into a strange sort of normal. My husband and I hosted Hubert and Lily for dinner at our house last weekend, and it was surprisingly pleasant. Lily's such a joyful little girl, toddling around and giggling at everything. Hubert seemed more relaxed than I've seen him in a while, and he opened up about how he's adjusting to co-parenting. He's been sticking to his therapy sessions, which he says help him stay calm when dealing with Jolie's unpredictability. He mentioned she's still canceling his time with Lily occasionally, but he's documenting everything and considering legal advice to ensure consistency. Jolie, meanwhile, hasn't reached out to me, and I'm fine with that. My husband heard from his parents that she's struggling with her business, which is barely breaking even. She's been asking them for loans, which has caused some tension, as they're starting to see her spending habits as a problem. My husband tried talking to her about getting help, maybe even therapy, but she brushed him off, saying she's fine and just needs time to get her business off the ground. I feel a mix of pity and frustration. She's Lily's mom, and I want her to be stable for her daughter's sake, but her refusal to face reality makes it hard to sympathize. My in-laws are still giving me the cold shoulder, though they've stopped bombarding my husband with complaints. He thinks they're embarrassed about how they handled things and don't know how to backtrack. I'm still keeping them blocked as I don't have the energy for their blame games. My husband and I are focusing on keeping our home a drama-free zone. We're planning to invite Hubert and Lily over more often, as it feels good to build a bond with her. I'm starting to see Hubert as more of a friend, which is unexpected but nice. I hope this calm lasts, but with Jolie involved, I'm not holding my breath. Update 10. Another couple of weeks have passed, and there's been a surprising development. Jolie reached out to my husband asking if she could visit us to clear the air. I was hesitant, but my husband convinced me to give it a shot, saying it might help mend things for Lily's sake. She came over yesterday without Lily, and it was one of the most awkward conversations of my life. She started by apologizing for the baby shower incident, admitting she was wrong to exclude me and lie about the house. She said she was caught up in trying to impress her friend and didn't think through how it would affect me. It sounded sincere, but I could tell she was uncomfortable, like she was forcing herself to say it. I thanked her for the apology, but was honest. I told her the way she treated me hurt deeply, and it'll take time to rebuild trust. She nodded, looking a bit defeated, and said she's been struggling with her self-image and feels like she's failing at everything: her business, her marriage, and now her family ties. My husband suggested she consider therapy to work through it, and to my surprise, she said she's thinking about it. She's been talking to Hubert about co-parenting more cooperatively, which is a relief. I didn't say much during the conversation, as I'm still guarded, but I agreed to keep things civil moving forward. After she left, my husband and I talked about it. He thinks she's genuinely trying to change, but I'm skeptical. She's got a long history of prioritizing appearances over honesty. Still, I'm willing to give her a chance, mostly for Lily. Hubert texted me later, saying Jolie mentioned the visit to him and seemed hopeful about repairing things. He's cautiously optimistic, but said he's keeping his boundaries firm. I'm glad we're all trying to move forward, but I'm keeping my expectations low. We'll see how this plays out. Update 11. It's been a few weeks since Jolie's visit, and things are slowly improving, though it's not all smooth sailing. Hubert and Jolie have been sticking to their co-parenting schedule better, and Hubert says she's been more reliable about Lily's visits. He's grateful for the progress, but still wary, as Jolie's business struggles seem to be weighing on her. She started seeing a therapist, which my husband confirmed through his parents, and it seems to be helping her reflect on her choices. She hasn't reached out to me again, and I'm okay with that. I'm not ready for a closer relationship yet. My in-laws, however, are another story. They unblocked me and sent a long message apologizing for blaming me for Hubert and Jolie's divorce. They admitted they were upset and took it out on me unfairly. I appreciated the gesture, but it felt a bit late, so I responded politely but kept it short. My husband thinks they're trying to rebuild bridges, especially since they're worried about losing contact with Lily if Hubert limits their access. I'm not ready to fully forgive them, but I agreed to join my husband for a family dinner at their place next month, mostly to keep the peace. Lily's growing so fast and she's become the highlight of our lives. Hubert brought her over again last weekend, and we had a blast playing in the backyard. My husband and I are talking about maybe setting up a small playroom in our house for when she visits. Hubert's doing well in his new apartment and seems more confident as a dad. I'm proud of him for staying focused on Lily despite everything. The family drama's still there, but it's less intense, and I'm hopeful we can all find a balance that works for Lily's sake. Update 12. It's been a couple of months since my last update, and I'm happy to say things are stabilizing. The family dinner with my in-laws went better than expected. They were warm and didn't bring up the past, which I appreciated. I didn't say much, but my husband was glad we went, as it felt like a step toward normalcy. Jolie wasn't there, which made it easier. But my husband says she's been more open with him about her therapy and her efforts to change. She's scaled back her business ambitions and is focusing on a more stable job, which seems to be grounding her. Hubert and Jolie are co-parenting more smoothly now. Hubert told me they've worked out a better system for sharing Lily's time, and they even attended a parenting class together to improve communication. Lily's thriving, and that's what matters most. My husband and I have started having Hubert and Lily over every other weekend, and it's become a routine we all look forward to. We've set up a small corner in our living room with toys for her, and it feels good to be part of her life. As for me and Jolie, we're not close, but we're civil. She sent me a text last week, thanking me for being there for Lily, which caught me off guard. I responded kindly, but kept it brief. I'm still cautious, but I can see she's trying, and I respect that. My in-laws are being more considerate, and I've unblocked them, though we're not fully back to normal. My husband and I are planning a quiet holiday season, just the two of us, to recharge after all the chaos. We're hopeful that the worst is behind us and that Lily will grow up with a supportive family, even if it's not perfect. I'll update again if anything significant happens, but for now, I'm content to focus on the present and let things unfold.